Hello everybody and welcome back to LotusOperations. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you another method of how you can sterilize water that you collect from the ground. Because if you remember from my previous videos, you cannot trust any water source unless it is filtered by plants or it comes directly straight out of the ground. And you know that is the main source of water that is coming from the earth. So, with further ado, let's begin the sterilization process. Okay, everybody, you're out traveling in the woods and you're lost. Or shit hit the fan or a major disaster happened. And you're over here dying of thirst and you need to try to basically collect water one way or another. But you haven't had any rain in a while. But you did find a water puddle that you could potentially drink water from. But water directly from the ground like this, that is stagnant, would not be safe to drink because of all the bacteria and the microorganisms within them from the dirt. The best source of clean water is moving water. Stagnant water is not okay unless you sterilize it. So I'm going to show you how, in emergency purposes only, a way of sterilizing water by using bleach. So the best thing you need to do is if you have a container to collect the water, you need to first get your container and get your water from here. Okay? Now, of course, you don't want to drink water like this. So you will bring it back to your camp if you have a camp set up. Of course, my camp is my garage because I'm doing this for tutorial purposes. And then you are going to allow the water to settle. You do not want any settlements in your water floating around when you're trying to sterilize. Once you get this back to where you're going to settle the water, you want to allow all the settlements to settle down to the bottom of the water. So however long that takes, you just allow it to sit there, unmoved, undisturbed. So that is what we are going to do. When it settles, I will get back. Now, meanwhile, while your water is settling, you want to get your other gear together. You would like, in your emergency sector kits that I described in a previous video, I'll leave the link behind in this video, you want to have eyedroppers and you want to have bleach in there. But you can't put this entire thing in the bleach. So I'm going to be doing another video later on where I'm going to be putting bleach into some glass vials into another kit, which will become the sterilization kit. That'll have iodine tablets, bleach, and other chemicals or ways of being able to create your own water filters so you can have an emergency water collection kit with you when that time comes, so you do not have to try to gather the supplies at that time frame, and that will get you one step ahead of the rest of the people out there who is attempting to try to survive. Hello everybody and welcome back to LotusOperations, and it has been 12 hours, actually, yeah, 12 and a half hours since I began the filtering process of the water, allowing it to settle. And as you can see, it is still settling, but almost everything is settled to the bottom. Hello everybody, and today is Saturday the 16th, 24 hours, almost 24 hours later, just 30 minutes shy of the 24-hour mark. And this is what our water currently looks like now. Let me put a light to it so you can see how clear it is looking now. And as you can see, more and more settlements are appearing on the bottom. Okay, everybody, welcome back. I got the other gear. So now, as you can see here, you can start seeing a light coming through the jar. So that's about as clear as we are going to be getting the water with the settlements. Now, the longer you let it sit, the clearer it gets. But for tutorial purposes only, we are going to just let it sit. Actually, you know what? I'm actually going to let it sit a little bit more just to see. Actually, you know what? No, I know what I'm going to do. So what we're going to do is we are going to filter out the settlements that you see that are still floating on the top that has not yet made it to the bottom. That'd be like the hairs and the other stuff that doesn't want to fall down. As you can see, some are trying to fall as I'm hitting the glass, stuff like that. But we don't want to get this down here done. So you want to only filter as much as you can, but you want to put it into another clean container that you have with you in your kits, and you're going to filter it through a cloth so that it can grab any large settlements, and then we are going to let it settle just a little bit longer before we actually sterilize it. So let's move it over. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna set the camera up here. We're gonna set the camera up, and then what you wanna do is you wanna put the cloth over the top. You wanna put a rubber band or something else that you will have, whatever you set up in your kit to utilize. Now make sure this cloth is as clean as possible. And you're going to carefully take this, and you're not gonna dump the entire thing. You're only gonna dump the top layers in and filter it through on the clean side of your jar. Filter it through to here. So you're gonna allow it to filter through without grabbing the bottom settlements into the jar down here. Now your goal is to get as much of the water as you can and pour it very slowly so you don't bring all the dirt in. And then once you get to the very bottom, you just let that be. That little bit of water is getting back to dirty again. And as you can see here, we get to better lighting. The top did grab some dirt, some particles, and then we are going to allow it to settle a little bit longer if you can. If you cannot, then you would begin the filtration with the bleach. So then you would take off your top, put it into a clean area to be used once again, and then we will let this settle for at least another couple hours or so before we actually add our bleach into it. And this is what your water is going to be looking like. So let's see if it will clear up a little bit more. Hello everybody, welcome back to Lotus Operations. And as you can see that it's been about 48 hours and our water is getting two different colors again. It's actually getting quite clear on the top, a little bit murkier on the bottom, but there's really not too much settling. So 12 hours to 24 hours is the time frame that you really need to just wait if you can. If you cannot, then just have a better filter, and you may just have to filter it more often than you would if you wait and allow it to settle. But what we are going to do now, since I wanted to see how long it would be after 2 days of settling or more than just 12 hours to see what would happen, I'm going to actually now build my filter, and then we are going to filter this through the filter and the charcoal. We're going to be using my activated charcoal that I made in one of my previous videos. So we're going to be sending this water through the activated charcoal and some other material sheets that are clean. And then we're going to do that a few times. And after that, we are going to add our chlorine in to purify it. And then we are going to take a sip of the water and see what it tastes like. So I'll get back to you, and yeah. Hello everybody, and welcome back to Lotus Operations. And here we are. Now we're at the point of throwing the water through our charcoal, homemade charcoal filter. But look at this here. As you can see, this is a total of 3 days of sitting still, and as you can see, I can start seeing the background behind me and the light coming through, and the bottom part that you can't see, that's still the settlements going down even more. As you can see, a slight layer is building up on the bottom. Now, if you can wait 3, 4, 5, 6 days, then do it. But if not, then you're going to have to filter the water faster. But if you're going to do it where you allow this to settle 3, 4, 5 days or something like that, so you can get as clear as possible, the best thing to do would be to take and have like a 5-gallon bucket or so. So you allow that to settle, and then while your other buckets are settling to be purified, then you can be drinking out of one, and it allows the other ones to get clearer, which would have a cleaner and a faster filtration cycle. But what we are going to be doing right now is we are going to be using a clean t-shirt. It doesn't look clean, but it is clean, and you want to use clean material for this. We've got ourselves our clean drinking glass. Now, when you get to the filter point, you need to have a glass that is your designated drinking glass, so you do not contaminate it with dirty water, contaminated water. And then we're going to be having our bottle that we are going to be putting our activated charcoal in and creating our filter. Now this charcoal is not that much to fill it all the way up to the top like I want, so I will have to make more activated charcoal to actually complete the filter to get a full one. So we will have to run the water multiple times through the filter to do the same thing as if you had one large one here, and instead of doing it like 5 times run through the filter, you would maybe have to only do it like twice or something like that. But what we're going to do is we're going to put a layer of material on the bottom, and then we're going to do charcoal, and then if we have enough to do another layer of material and charcoal, we will, but then our final layer will be material. So let's begin the process and see how big of a filter we are actually able to make. Okay, everybody, let's carry all of our stuff out to our filtration area so we can see it actually take place in color wise. So now this is my first time ever doing this, but from the researches that I was doing and stuff like that, this is basically all you're going to have to do. It's basically basic filtration, but we are going to take, and I am going to basically trying to figure out how to hold this up here. Okay, so we're gonna put this here because there's a hole at the bottom of this. Actually, you know what? It may be better to do it over here so it doesn't fall. And we're going to see, now you're gonna see the water that's going in, and then you're gonna see the water that is coming out, okay? Now it may be a slower process, but as you can see here, I put another top over here. Now this will catch any debris from here, if any debris were in there that got missed by the last filter, to ensure that you do not contaminate your other filter. So let me support this camera up, and let's begin. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna slowly pour this into here and just allow it to filter through the entire filter and slowly go through everything. Now of course, what the activated charcoal is doing, the activated charcoal is grabbing any bacteria or other contaminants, chemicals, stuff like that, trapping it in between the layers. And as you can see here, then you will see it begin to filter through the bottom. Hopefully my cloth does not absorb all my water, and then it basically doesn't go through. That's gonna be my luck. My cloth absorbs all my water. Up. Look, see, now it's gonna be coming through. Now, you may get a lot, you may not get as much, but that's why you got to be having a lot more than what I dumped in there. Everybody, and as you can see, the water is still filtering through. The filter being sterilized is just a nice slow process through this. And so we're going to let it drip a little bit more, and then we're going to throw this amount back into the filter to give it another round, just to keep making sure that everything is good. We are going to be taking the water and redumping it back into the filter and allowing it to go through a second time. So let's go. We're going to cap off our hole so we don't lose any water. We're going to take this, we're going to dump this back into this right here without spilling any. We're going to put this back onto the bottom, and then we are going to allow it to flow once again. Okay, everybody, it's been about another 10 minutes of allowing it to drip, and as you can see here, round 2 is even cleaner than before. So what we are going to do, we are going to take this off again, cap off the bottom to conserve our water. But as you can see here, it is a lot clearer than the first round, and we are going to repeat the process by dumping this water back into here and doing it for a third round. So here we go. Dump this back into here. Sorry about that. Jar's back. And now, as you can see, There we go. We are back to the third round of filtration. So I recommend using 3 rounds as the minimum for filtering if you can wait that long. And then after this, we are going to do let it sit as long as possible until it stops dripping. And then we are going everybody, to do welcome back. And here we are. It's been about another 10 minutes. And as you notice, it has stopped dripping. So we are going to use this, what we have as a, let's see if I can squeeze out any more water that could be potentially in there that could be utilized for my video. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to take this thing here, and as you see, that was my little hole was coming through. Now we are going to take this water here, and as you can see how much clearer it is from going 3 times. Okay, everybody, welcome back. And this is, I decided to do around 4 of the filter water stuff, and I am allowing all the water to drain out of the filter. As you can see here that it is there, and then the water level, well, if you can see from the stuff, the water level is actually here from the video thing right here. As you can see, let's bring this out. I don't care about the drops anymore because my filter shifted, so it did not do as good on the 4th round, so it got a little bit more dirt in it than normal. But now when you're adding bleach is a chemical, and you do not want the concentrated version. If you find the concentrated version, you need to dilute it out to the right ratio per gallon of bleach water to that to make it safer levels to drink. I was able to find a non-concentrated version that I know of and stuff like that, because this is a chemical. It is a poison, so you do not want to intake a lot of it. That's why you have to do the right ratio. And I was doing some research. Now, the manual I was teaching y'all from said 4 drops per quart, but that was back in 2007. And the newest manuals that I was reading, I will update my survival manual, is only 2 drops of bleach per quart of water. And being this is not a half of a quart, we're only going to do 1 drop. Now, right here, you want to get your little eyedroppers that you get from the store so you can get an exact drop and exact measurements into your water. And you want to grab a drop of bleach. Now, as you can see, bleach is here. We literally are going to do a drop, and that's it. Boom. There it is. That's it. 1 of those drops for the entire thing. Then, after that, we're going to put this back here so that stays sterile. Close up your bleach. Can't believe I went to... Oh, I got the bleach from the dollar store. It's only $1. Then what you want to do is you want to stir this the bleach into the water to help sterilize it. And then you are going to wait 15 minutes. If you do not smell bleach in the water, then you add 1 more drop. But being that this is less than the quart or half a quart, we are not going to add any more drops because we do not want to over concentrate the bleach and cause any issues. So we're going to allow this to sit 30 minutes to be sterile. Then we are going to give it a small taste and see. Hello everybody, welcome back to Lotus Operations, and it has been officially 30 minutes since we have sterilized this jar. Now, as you can see, the 1 drop of bleach actually cleared it up a lot more, and there's still a slight smell of bleach in here, but we're just going to give it a sip, and then I'm going to see if it's actually still too concentrated or not for this ratio. And then we're going to taste our water that we filtered from our little water puddle right back over there, and then we're going to see what happens. So let's see. Okay, so unfortunately it is still way too strong for the bleach to water ratio. So I am not going to drink this right now. I need to figure this out. Like, if it's 2 drops per quart, there should be really no taste of bleach unless that is also concentrated bleach. So I am not going to drink the rest of this at the moment. So my recommendations is to not use bleach, because since we can't figure out the correct ratios, is to actually just filter it, allow the sunlight to kill it, or boil your water after you filter it, and boil your water after you filter it so that you can freaking be able to have cleaner water to taste without taking a chance of hurting yourself. Now, I bet you would have to let the bleach evaporate out in the sunlight like the process is 3 hours. I could have done that, but I'm not going to wait another 3 hours to do this. So now that is a process of sterilizing with bleach, but I don't see why, I don't see how it is so concentrated still, like with just one drop for half a quart, if that is the correct ratio. So I'm gonna have to go back to the drawing board. But other than that, that is how you filter and sterilize water. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll get back to you if I figure out a better combination ratio, and then we will go from there. So Lotus Operations out.